This is an approach I've developed for learning the neck and harmony on the bass. And it addresses some of the difference between bass players and guitar players and keyboard players. Since we're required like 99% of the time to play one note at a time, we have to look at harmony as a linear thing that happens over time. One thing I've found about learning lines is that I've had a lot of students come to me that know their scales and arpeggios real well. But when they try to use that information in a linear fashion, like in a groove or soloing, you end up sounding just like a scale and arpeggio. So what you have to understand, first of all, is the strong beat, weak beat concept. If you take quarter notes in a bar, the strong beats are on 1 and 3, the weak beats are on 2 and 4. Your ear wants to hear the harmony satisfied on the strong beats, and it really doesn't care that much what's on 2 and 4. And I'll play an exercise or a little example right now that'll demonstrate that fact. In order to organize the notes on the neck into a line that we like, first of all, you have to learn where they are on the neck. Chords are built in thirds, and if you look in your booklet, you'll see some diagrams of 4 seventh chords. I think there's 4 different quality of diatonic seventh chords, and you'll see them over the whole fingerboard. And what you can see there is that it really doesn't matter where you go on the neck for any particular chord. You're never going to be more than a whole step away from a chord tone. And where that becomes valuable for us is that if you're playing a line and you want to satisfy the strong beats with chord tones in 1 and 3, you're never going to be a whole step away from going and getting that sound. Since you're never more than a whole step away from a chord tone, it's possible to create lines on the bass that only use half steps or whole steps and still get you chord tones on the strong beats. What this also accomplishes is it keeps you from jumping around, which is a common problem with most people's bass lines. And it also keeps your lines from sounding strictly like scales. All right, so you end up not sounding like scales, you don't sound like arpeggios, but you end up with a line that satisfies the harmony to your ear. I'm going to play a walking bass line over C minor 7 to F7, one bar piece. And I'll be using this half-step, whole-step approach, and I'll be putting chord tones on the strong beats 1 and 3. There are three basic positions that you can begin to apply this concept to, and they involve placing the first, second, and fourth finger on the root of whatever harmony you're working on. All right. If we take some basic harmony information like the C major scale, all right, we can start by placing the first finger on it. Take the C on the E string. Second finger on it. Fourth finger on it. Okay. From those three basic positions, it really doesn't matter where you go in the neck, you're going to borrow from at least two of those. Take this C major right here, starting with the second finger. If I end up here, obviously that's symmetric, it duplicates itself. Here, little fingers on the C, duplicates itself here. For any information below the C, right, in this position, it'll be covered from when your first finger was on the C. Okay. So if you're here, obviously this is symmetric with this part. Any descending information when you're here is covered here from this basic position. So if you learn those three basic positions, whatever harmony you're working on, then you can move your hand around to different parts of the neck and still use the same information because of the symmetry of the neck. Here's a walking bass line using this concept, and it's 2-5-1 in C. There's 2 bars per chord change, and I'm outlining chord tones on 1 and 3, and you'll hear and see on your workbook the choices I'm using for the passing notes. Here's the same bass line, and we're going to use the 8 notes that we chose for the bass line as 8th notes as a solo, and I'm going to put it up an octave and play it faster. And what you're going to find is that it makes a good sounding solo line. One thing to remember about this concept is that it's a method to learn the neck and learn how to play harmony. When you're playing music, and when I play music, I try to use every possible device or way of thinking about it. I don't just limit myself to half steps and whole steps. I'll use arpeggios, I'll use scales, I'll use pentatonics, everything I can think of, and some things that I don't think of. Here's an example of how I use the 3 basic types of information that we're concerned with. Scales and arpeggios and the chromatics that are involved in learning this half-step, whole-step approach. And I'll be playing over D minor.